This isn't a dead end, it's a lock. Deep within the Great Pyramid of Giza lies something that shouldn't exist, a stone door that appears designed to be opened later, yet no one agrees on what lies behind it. We're about to embark on a historical heist. We have the map, we've found the door, but what waits beyond it is the real problem. This mystery has puzzled archaeologists for decades. The story begins in 1993, when a robotic camera explored a narrow shaft leading up from the Queen's chamber. After navigating an 8-inch square passage for 200 feet, the robot encountered something unexpected. A stone block. But not just any stone block. This one appeared different from the others, smoother, more deliberately placed. It had 2 corroded copper handles attached to its surface. The discovery raised immediate questions. Why would ancient builders place a door 200 feet up a shaft too narrow for humans? And why include handles if it wasn't meant to be opened? Some researchers suggest the handles might be decorative, part of a ritualistic sealing. Others propose a more radical theory. This door was designed to be opened from the other side. The mystery deepened when a second door was discovered behind the first in 2002. This inner door showed signs of intentional damage, as if someone had tried to break through it from behind. Here's where the contradiction emerges. If these doors were meant to protect something valuable, why place them in a shaft barely wide enough for a robot? The logistics don't add up. One theory proposes these doors weren't barriers at all, but rather symbolic elements in an ancient ritual. The copper handles might represent offerings to the gods, sealed forever within the pyramid. Another hypothesis suggests we're looking at an ancient security system. Perhaps the doors protected a hidden chamber containing the most sacred artifacts of the Pharaoh. The plot thickens with the discovery of red ochre markings on the doors. These hieroglyphic-like symbols have never been fully translated, but some researchers believe they provide clues about the door's purpose. But here's the twist that changes everything. Recent ground-penetrating radar scans suggest there might be a void behind these doors, possibly a hidden chamber measuring 30 feet in length. This revelation transforms our understanding. We're not just looking at doors. We might be staring at the entrance to the only completely intact pharaonic chamber ever discovered. The stakes couldn't be higher. If a sealed chamber exists behind these doors, it could contain artifacts that revolutionize our understanding of ancient Egyptian civilization. Yet opening these doors presents enormous challenges. The shaft's narrow dimensions mean traditional archaeological methods won't work. We need specialized equipment just to reach them. And then there's the ethical dilemma. Do we have the right to potentially damage these ancient structures in pursuit of knowledge? Some argue the doors were sealed for a reason. The mystery takes another turn when we consider the door's construction. Analysis shows they're made of a different type of limestone than the surrounding pyramid stones. This suggests the doors were added after the pyramid's initial construction, perhaps during a secondary burial or ritual ceremony. But historical records mention no such events. Some researchers now propose a startling theory. What if these doors aren't ancient Egyptian at all? Could they be evidence of a much earlier, unknown civilization? This controversial hypothesis points to the door's unusual construction techniques. The precision of the copper fittings exceeds many other known examples from the same period. However, mainstream Egyptologists caution against such speculation. They point to similar door mechanisms found in other pyramids, though none in such inaccessible locations. The debate intensifies with each new discovery. In 2011, a robot drilled a small hole through the first door, revealing nothing. The space behind was empty, leading to more questions. But this emptiness might be the clue we've been missing. What if the doors weren't meant to hide something, but to test something? A trial by ordeal for ancient priests? This theory suggests the shaft and doors formed part of an initiation ritual. Only those who could navigate the narrow passage and open the doors would be worthy of higher knowledge. Supporting this idea are similar narrow passages found in other pyramids, often leading to seemingly dead ends. Perhaps these were spiritual, not physical, journeys. Yet the copper handles contradict this theory. Why include functional elements on a purely symbolic door, unless the symbolism itself required functionality? Recent analysis of the copper composition reveals another mystery. The metal contains trace elements not found in other Egyptian copper artifacts, suggesting a different source or manufacturing process. This discovery opens up new possibilities. Were these doors imported from another region? Could they represent a gift from a foreign power, sealed within the pyramid as tribute? The mystery deepens when we realize no other pyramid contains doors quite like these. They're unique to the Great Pyramid, suggesting a special purpose we've yet to understand. Some researchers now propose the doors might be part of an ancient time capsule. Perhaps they contain messages or artifacts meant for future generations to discover. This theory gains traction when we consider the pyramid's alignment with celestial bodies. The door's position corresponds to specific star alignments, possibly marking a particular time in history. But here's the most intriguing possibility yet. What if the doors aren't meant to be opened from our side because they're actually meant to be opened from the other side? This radical theory proposes the doors might be part of an ancient escape route or secret passage system. The pyramid could contain hidden chambers we've never discovered. Supporting this are ancient texts describing mysterious underground passages connecting the pyramids to the Nile. Though dismissed as legend, these doors might prove the stories true. The implications would be staggering. Hidden chambers, secret passages, and possibly even undiscovered tombs could exist within the pyramid's unexplored depths. Yet we face a technological barrier. Current scanning technology can't penetrate deep enough to map these potential chambers accurately. We're essentially working blind. This brings us to the most frustrating aspect of the mystery. We know these doors exist. We suspect something lies beyond them, but we lack the technology to investigate properly. It's like having a locked safe and knowing the combination is written on the inside. The solution exists, but it's just out of reach. Recent advancements in Muon tomography offer hope. This technology can create 3D images of the pyramid's interior, potentially revealing hidden chambers without any drilling or damage. Preliminary scans have already identified several voids within the pyramid, including a massive chamber above the Grand Gallery. But the technology hasn't yet been applied to the door area. This represents our best chance yet to solve the mystery. Within the next few years, we might finally see what's behind those enigmatic doors without disturbing a single stone. But even with advanced technology, challenges remain. The door's location in narrow shafts makes positioning scanning equipment extremely difficult. Engineers are developing specialized robots capable of carrying scanning equipment through these tight spaces. These machines might finally unlock the pyramid's secrets. The project represents a perfect marriage of ancient mystery and modern technology. We're using 21st century tools to solve a 4,500-year-old puzzle. Yet some argue we're focusing too much on technology. They suggest we should study ancient texts more carefully, as they might contain clues about the door's purpose. This approach has yielded surprising results. Recently translated fragments describe rituals involving sealed passages and copper-handled doors in temple contexts. These texts suggest the doors might be part of a funerary ritual where the deceased soul would need to prove its worthiness by opening specific barriers. The copper handles take on new meaning in this context. They might represent the tools needed for the soul's journey, sealed within the pyramid to ensure their availability in the afterlife. This spiritual interpretation aligns with Egyptian beliefs about the afterlife journey. The pyramid wasn't just a tomb, but a machine for ensuring the pharaoh's resurrection. The doors might represent specific challenges the pharaoh would face in the afterlife. Each door symbolized a test or trial to overcome. But this theory raises new questions. Why place these spiritual doors in such physically inaccessible locations? The contradiction between symbolism and accessibility remains. Perhaps we're missing the point entirely. What if the door's purpose isn't about what's behind them, but about their existence itself? A message in the medium? This meta-theory suggests the doors were deliberately mysterious, designed to puzzle future generations. They might be humanity's first known example of conceptual art. While intriguing, this explanation seems unlikely given the enormous effort required. Ancient Egyptians wouldn't invest such resources in a purely conceptual project. The mystery takes another turn with recent discoveries in other pyramids. Similar doors have been found in pyramids across Egypt, though none in such pristine condition. This suggests the doors were part of a standardized architectural practice. But if so, why did the practice die out? And why don't we find them in later pyramids? Some researchers propose the doors were part of a specific dynasty's burial practices. The Great Pyramid's doors might be the last surviving examples of a lost tradition. This theory gains support from the door's construction techniques, which match other architectural elements from the same period. They represent the pinnacle of a specific craft tradition. The mystery deepens when we consider the door's preservation. Despite being over 4,500 years old, the copper handles remain largely intact, suggesting unusual environmental conditions. This preservation might provide clues about the shaft's environment. The sealed nature of the passage created conditions that protected both stone and metal from degradation. These conditions might also explain why the doors were placed there. The shaft could have been designed as a time capsule, preserving its contents indefinitely. But preserved for whom? If the doors were meant to be opened, who would possess the knowledge and tools to do so? This suggests a lost civilization with advanced capabilities. While speculative, this theory can't be entirely dismissed. Ancient texts from various cultures describe advanced civilizations that existed before recorded history. The doors might be the only surviving evidence of such civilizations. They could represent a technology so advanced that even ancient Egyptians didn't fully understand it. This brings us to the most sobering possibility. What if the doors exist precisely because they're meant to remain unopened? A test we're meant to fail? In this view, the doors represent the ultimate archaeological humility. Some mysteries aren't meant to be solved, but to remind us of the limits of human knowledge. But this philosophical approach doesn't satisfy the scientific mind. We have tools, technology, and determination. The question isn't whether we can open the doors, but whether we should. This ethical dilemma haunts every researcher who studies the doors. The potential for discovery must be weighed against the risk of irreversible damage to humanity's heritage. International committees have been formed to address this question. They bring together archaeologists, engineers, ethicists, and even religious leaders to determine the best path forward. Their debates reveal the complexity of the issue. On one side, the potential for unprecedented discovery. On the other, the responsibility to preserve ancient monuments for future generations. The compromise solution involves developing non-invasive technologies that can explore beyond the doors without damaging them. It's a challenging technical problem. Engineers are working on micro-robots that could potentially slip past the doors without disturbing them. These devices might explore whatever lies beyond while preserving the door's integrity. This approach represents the best of both worlds, scientific advancement and cultural preservation. But it requires patience as the technology develops. Meanwhile, researchers continue to analyze every available piece of data. High-resolution photographs, chemical analysis, and 3D modeling might reveal clues invisible to the naked eye. Some breakthroughs have already occurred. Advanced imaging techniques revealed tool marks on the doors that suggest specific manufacturing techniques, helping date their construction more accurately. These findings support the theory that the doors were added late in the pyramid's construction, possibly as a final step in the burial process. This timing might be significant. If the doors were the last element added, they might contain the most important secrets. Ancient builders would have placed their most valuable treasures behind these final barriers. This logic seems sound, but it assumes the doors were meant to be opened eventually. The mystery returns to this fundamental question: dead end or deliberate lock? The answer might lie in understanding ancient Egyptian psychology. Their concept of eternity included the belief that the deceased would need their possessions indefinitely. In this context, doors that could be opened would make sense. The pharaoh's soul would need to access whatever lay beyond throughout eternity. The handles served a practical purpose. But this practical interpretation clashes with the door's inaccessible location. If they were meant for spiritual access, why place them in physically unreachable places? The contradiction suggests we might be misunderstanding ancient Egyptian spirituality. Perhaps the physical and spiritual realms weren't as separate in their worldview as in ours. This theory proposes that the doors' physical inaccessibility was precisely the point. They represented barriers that only spiritual beings could overcome, demonstrating the Pharaoh's divine status. In this interpretation, the copper handles weren't for human hands, but for spiritual ones. They represented the tools needed for the soul's journey, not physical access points. This spiritual understanding aligns with other pyramid features. Many elements seem designed for spiritual rather than practical purposes, reinforcing the religious nature of these structures. Yet the mystery persists because we can't definitively prove any theory. The doors remain silent, keeping their secrets locked away for millennia. This uncertainty is what makes the mystery so compelling. In an age where we can map the human genome and explore Mars, a simple stone door defies our understanding. Perhaps this is the door's ultimate purpose. They remind us that despite our technological prowess, some mysteries remain beyond our current comprehension. But this philosophical satisfaction doesn't diminish our curiosity. If anything, it intensifies our desire to understand. The doors have become a symbol of human ambition. The story of these mysterious doors has captured public imagination worldwide. Documentaries, books, and academic papers continue to explore every aspect of the mystery. This global interest has driven funding for new research. Private donors and government grants support the development of technologies that might finally solve the puzzle. The next generation of researchers is already preparing. Students choose Egyptology specifically to work on the door mystery, bringing fresh perspectives and new skills. These young researchers approach the problem differently. They combine traditional archaeological methods with cutting-edge technology, creating hybrid approaches to the mystery. Some are developing AI systems that can analyze ancient texts for hidden patterns. Others work on quantum sensors that might detect what's beyond the doors without physical contact. These innovations might seem like science fiction, but they're based on real science. The pace of technological advancement suggests we might solve this mystery sooner than expected. But technology alone won't be enough. Understanding the doors requires understanding the culture that created them. This means continuing to study all aspects of ancient Egyptian civilization. Recent discoveries in other pyramids provide new context. Each finding helps build a more complete picture of ancient Egyptian burial practices and beliefs. These discoveries remind us that the pyramids still hold secrets. After centuries of exploration, we're still making fundamental discoveries about these ancient monuments. The doors might be part of a larger pattern we're just beginning to recognize. Similar architectural elements in pyramids worldwide suggest common ancient knowledge. This global perspective opens new possibilities. Were the doors part of a worldwide ancient tradition? Do similar sealed passages exist in other cultures' monuments? Answering these questions requires international cooperation. Researchers from different countries and disciplines must work together to understand these global patterns. This collaboration is already yielding results. Comparative studies of pyramid architecture reveal similarities that suggest ancient cultural exchange on a scale previously unimagined. The doors might represent just one example of a widespread practice. Understanding them could unlock secrets of other monuments worldwide. This broader context makes the doors even more significant. They're not just a single mystery, but potentially a key to understanding ancient civilizations globally. But we must be careful not to overextend our interpretations. Each monument must be understood in its own cultural context before broader patterns can be identified. This balanced approach requires patience and rigor. The temptation to see connections everywhere must be resisted in favor of evidence-based conclusions. The doors teach us about the nature of mystery itself. They demonstrate how a simple architectural element can generate endless questions and theories. This educational aspect might be their most valuable contribution. The doors inspire new generations to study archaeology, engineering, and ancient history. They've become a gateway to understanding the past, even if they themselves remain closed. The mystery drives learning and discovery in multiple fields. This legacy extends beyond academia. The doors have inspired artists, writers, and filmmakers to explore themes of mystery, discovery, and the limits of human knowledge. Cultural impact like this shows how archaeological mysteries transcend academia. They become part of humanity's shared heritage and imagination. The doors remind us that our ancestors were complex, sophisticated people. They created monuments that still challenge our understanding thousands of years later. This realization should humble us. Future generations might look at our monuments and wonder about our motivations and beliefs. Perhaps the doors' greatest gift is this perspective. They connect us to our past while making us think about our future legacy. As we develop new technologies and methods, we edge closer to solving the mystery. Each year brings new data, new insights, and new possibilities. The international community remains committed to solving the puzzle responsibly. No one wants to damage these irreplaceable monuments in the pursuit of knowledge. This patient, methodical approach will eventually yield answers. Whether in 5 years or 50, we will understand what lies beyond those mysterious doors. Until then, the mystery continues to captivate us. The doors stand as a testament to human ingenuity and the eternal quest for knowledge. They remind us that some mysteries are worth preserving unsolved. The questions they generate might be more valuable than any answers they contain. But this philosophical acceptance doesn't diminish our curiosity. If anything, it makes us more determined to understand while respecting what we study. The doors represent the perfect archaeological mystery, accessible enough to study, mysterious enough to intrigue, and challenging enough to resist easy solutions. They've survived millennia of human history, from ancient dynasties to modern space exploration. Through it all, they've kept their secrets. This longevity adds to their mystique. How many generations have wondered about these doors? How many more will join our curiosity? The doors connect us to our deepest questions about existence, purpose, and meaning. They remind us that mystery is an essential part of the human experience. As we conclude our exploration, we're left with more questions than answers. But perhaps that's the point. The journey of questioning matters more than any final revelation. The doors will continue to inspire research, debate, and wonder. They represent everything we love about archaeology: the thrill of discovery, the challenge of interpretation, and the humility before the past. Whether they guard treasures, secrets, or simply more questions, the doors have already given us something valuable: the reminder that mystery still exists in our modern world. They stand as silent witnesses to humanity's eternal quest for understanding. And in their silence, they speak volumes about the nature of knowledge itself. The story of the pyramid doors isn't just about archaeology. It's about human nature, our relationship with the past, and our endless drive to solve the unsolvable. As technology advances and new discoveries are made, we move closer to understanding. But each answer generates new questions, ensuring the mystery will never truly end. This endless cycle of discovery and questioning is what makes archaeology so compelling. The doors exemplify this process perfectly. They've become more than architectural elements. They're symbols of humanity's intellectual journey, representing both our achievements and our limitations. The doors remind us that knowledge isn't just about answers. It's about asking better questions, developing new methods, and accepting the possibility that some mysteries might remain unsolved. This acceptance doesn't represent defeat, but maturity. We can appreciate mystery while still pursuing understanding, finding joy in the quest itself. As we look to the future, the doors will continue to play their role in human culture. They'll inspire new technologies, new theories, and new generations of researchers. The mystery has become self-perpetuating. Each attempt to solve it generates new mysteries, ensuring the doors will fascinate humanity for generations to come. This legacy might be their greatest gift. In an age of rapid change and instant gratification, the doors teach us the value of patience, persistence, and long-term thinking. They remind us that the most meaningful discoveries often require decades of careful work. True understanding can't be rushed or forced. The doors also teach us about collaboration. Solving their mystery requires expertise from multiple fields working together toward a common goal. This interdisciplinary approach represents the future of archaeology. Complex problems require diverse perspectives and skills. As our exploration ends, we're left with a deeper appreciation for the complexity of human history. The doors are microcosms of the larger archaeological enterprise. They embody the tension between preservation and discovery, the balance between respect for the past and curiosity about it. This balance will guide future research. We must honor our heritage while advancing our understanding, finding ways to learn without destroying. The doors have survived this long because they were protected and respected. Our challenge is to continue this tradition while still pursuing knowledge. This responsibility weighs on every researcher who studies them. We're not just solving a puzzle, we're custodians of humanity's heritage. The mystery of the pyramid doors will likely outlive us all. But in trying to solve it, we learn about ourselves, our capabilities, and our place in history. They remind us that we're part of a long continuum of human curiosity. Generations before us wondered about these doors. Generations after us will continue the quest. In this sense, the doors connect us to both our ancestors and our descendants. They represent humanity's shared intellectual heritage. The journey to understand them has already yielded tremendous benefits. New technologies, international cooperation, and public engagement with archaeology all stem from this mystery. Perhaps this is their ultimate purpose, not to be opened, but to inspire us to develop new ways of seeing, thinking, and understanding our world. The doors remain closed, but they've opened countless minds to the wonders of archaeology and ancient history. This educational impact might be their greatest treasure. As we face the future with its own challenges and mysteries, the doors remind us that patient, careful investigation can yield profound insights. They teach us that some questions are worth pursuing for generations, that mystery can be more valuable than certainty, and that the journey matters more than the destination. The pyramid doors that shouldn't exist have become the doors that must exist. They represent everything that makes us human, our curiosity, our ingenuity, and our eternal quest for understanding. Whether they guard ancient treasures, spiritual secrets, or simply more questions, they've already given us something priceless, the gift of wonder itself. And so the mystery continues. The doors stand silent, patient, eternal. They wait for us to develop the wisdom and technology to understand their message. Until that day comes, they remain what they've always been, a lock without a key, a question without an answer, and a reminder that some mysteries are worth preserving. The doors remain closed, but they've opened our minds to infinite possibilities. And in that sense, they've accomplished their purpose. The mystery continues to inspire.